Check this one out. 1 second to go. I put it down 6 kilometers away, guys. Oh my gosh. What is going on, guys? It is Zigzag here, and welcome back to another Geoguessr video. Today, I know that you guys really enjoyed my series where I've tried to get 24,000 points with 10 seconds NMPZ, and now I'm going to go for the world record. I know that is going to be a really tough feat to achieve, but at least I would love to go for a position in the top 5 here. So here they are. The top score is made by Topotic, and he got 24,600, and the rest of them 24,500-ish. So that's a really big lead, and none of these records have been broken in 2022, at least not updated. So I would love to get my position on there. My best is 24,200 and something, which you guys saw in the last video in this series, but this is a new series now. We're going for the world record, or at least for 24,500. So that is the new goal, and I have filmed a bunch more attempts since last time. Stay to the end of the video because I got another 24,000 in the meantime. Obviously not any world record, but you're gonna want to stay tuned. So I've just collated all the best ones here. Let's get into them. So here is the first seed. A lot of these seeds were not the best scores ever, just some interesting things. So we start off with a pretty easy Lesotho here, and I'm not really happy with that guess. That's pretty clearly central Lesotho because it gets a bit greener over there. Next one is South Korea. You always love to see South Korea because even with a kind of poor guess like that, you still get 4.5 thousand. Then we had a nice Sri Lanka here, a bit drier, so I go further north. Ends up being on that peninsula, so obviously we're only just in contention with this round here. I end up going West Virginia. I think it's one state over. Yeah, we're in Tennessee, so actually 2 states over there. And we end up with Chile, because we got the concrete kind of sectioned road here. So Chile's pretty obvious. I end up going south of Puerto Montt here in Castro. And check out this guess, guys. We are only 46 kilometers away, so on the correct island there. 23,100. Clean seed to start us off with. Nothing too insane, but not the easiest seed either. So, you know, definitely 2 hard countries in there, Chile and the US. So let's see what we get on the next one here. So Japanese, driving left, low cam, Japanese script, all that good stuff makes it pretty easy. I got up near Sendai because it kind of has like a bit of a colder feel to it. It's 40 kilometers over in the next one, which is like Yamagata or something like that. Didn't quite get to read it just then, but yeah, 46 kilometers is absolutely fantastic for Japan. And actually, that's the theme of this video, good Japan guesses. Anyway, this one's another insane guess. Mosul Bay I go for, and I'm 7 kilometers away. I don't think I've had that round before. I just knew it had the feel. Let's go back here for a second. I just knew this one had the feel of like very southern, kind of southern hemisphere and very southern vegetation. Knew it couldn't be Australia. And so 7 kilometers away, very clean guess indeed. Super chuffed about that one. So let's see what we got next. Next one, so we're on track for we're on a massive score right now. We end up going in Bolivia here. Definitely had Bolivia vibes about it. I go around Santa Cruz because that tends to be where it's a lot green, and unfortunately we were on the way to La Paz. Still a good score, still in contention technically, but you know, a bit of a hit. This one was interesting. This house over here kind of looks like a bungalow, almost looks like an Australian house, but I end up opting because this wooden house over on the other side of the screen there for Lithuania, and ends up being good, 4.6. Next one. This one's interesting because this like brick kind of looks more Asian, but this car over here seemed more European to me. I ended up going in Albania, which I still don't mind that guess. Unfortunately, ends up being some summer coverage in South Korea. So anyone who plays a lot of Geoguessr knows that's a tough round. And even if I had have nailed that Korea guess, I probably still would have only gotten just over 24,000. So it's no biggie. Next one, we start off with a Korea. That's quite a common theme inside these videos. Like a lot of times a good Korea guess will get you a long way. And here, check out this one. Okay, so guys, where do you think this one is, personally? So I was looking at it, definitely kind of had like an Israel vibe to it, right? But there's no yellow plate. So then I was thinking Malta, I don't know, something Mediterranean, obviously. Check it out. I actually managed to get within the time that this is actually a Lebanon trekker. So there you go. I go for Lebanon. Guess in Beirut. I didn't actually realize there was stuff outside of Beirut, and check it out. We were 29 kilometers up the road, so a fantastic score. Not going to complain about that. It's very rare to get Lebanon in a diverse world. It's not a country that has extensive Google coverage. So we've got double yellows in the center here. I go around Winnipeg, and it ends up being 146 kilometers away. So another really nice guess, right province. 4.6k is great for Canada. Next up, we've got banana plants, yellow inside lines. I was definitely feeling Thailand for this one. And I was still in contention at this stage. So let's see. Ends up being a bit further south. So 4.3 takes us out of contention, unfortunately. And this one's also interesting. Definitely, I'm pretty sure I go France here. And it's very green grass, very flat. And France ends up being incorrect. It's actually over in Ireland. So really interesting round. I think I'd probably still go France if I got that round again, to be honest, although Ireland was always a possibility. So we get 21.6, but just I wanted to include that one just because of the Lebanon, which I successfully got. Okay, so we have filled in yellow signs here. It definitely feels like Sweden, but also super far south, I guess. 91 kilometers away. Very nice Swedish guess. Red on the plate here. This number plate's got a bit of red on it. It's obviously not Belgium, so I think Montenegro does have sometimes a bit of a red logo. Some of these European plates have a bit of a red logo on them, and that ends up being 17 kilometers away, so very nice. Low cam here, so we know it's got to be Switzerland. Obviously, nowhere in Japan looks like this, and they're the only two countries that have low cam. Go near Bern, and ends up being 48 kilometers away, so very clean as well. Next one, we have a bit of Polish language on the sign. I decided for a central hedge here. Central hedges tend to be pretty good in Poland because it's like a rather square country. Unfortunately, it's kind of in the northern section. If I could have central hedged it northern, I would have gotten a good score. That was fine though. Next one we have the bike helmet, so definitely thinking Vietnam. I just had in the last video a bike helmet in Philippines, but yeah, that one was of course in Vietnam, and we get 22.6, so another one that was very nice. Had I actually needed a good score on Vietnam, maybe I would have tried harder, but yeah. Anyway, so this one, we're next to the lake, and I actually managed to use the compass there just as I grab a glimpse of it to line myself up, and I realized I should be on that side of the big lake, Lake Cool there, and yeah, we end up right there. 9.9 kilometers away. Pretty insane guess, if I don't say so. Next one definitely has like Malaysian vibes to it, at least that's what I think I probably would have done here. So I go this side of Malaysia. Often when it looks like Borneo, I guess on the side that's near Borneo. Unfortunately, that rule doesn't work out this time. Only 4.3k, so pretty much taking us out of contention, or almost at least. Next one definitely feels Nigerian. I go near Abuja. Also, I can see some hills in the background when the mini-map is not in the way. And so that does work out. It's right near Abuja on the way up there, so 4.9k, obviously. Okay, so we're still in contention at this stage. Next one, kind of a poor road quality leads me to believe, but probably somewhere in Ukraine. Tends to be, unfortunately, the way it is over there. A good way to tell the country apart. I go Lviv, and unfortunately, it's all the way in Kharkiv, so 3.1k, no good indeed. And the next one, North American round, very standard. Where do I go for this? I actually can't remember where I end up going. I end up going for New York State here, and it ends up being just over the border in Philadelphia, so only 163 kilometers away, almost to 22,000 there, and had I had a really nice Ukraine guess, it could have been a really respectable score. Next one, dashed yellows on the outside of the road, has to be Ireland, pretty much the only country that I can think of that does that. And 75 kilometers is a great start, so 4.8k, that's pretty much the pace you have to maintain. Next one has a South American antenna, and the red on the number plates, I remembered that being over this side of the country in the state over there, and sure enough, we're only 4.5, we get 4.5k, only 200k's away, so pretty good. This one's like a very specific part of Australian coverage. We're going east to west, so I really should have guessed on the Victorian side, but I end up going on the New South Wales because I thought I saw a New South Wales specific type of sign. I didn't, so 4,700 still fine. Then we have this super overexposed Japanese coverage. I end up going just over there. I don't really know. There was no real like reason for that. I just kind of thought it kind of looked like a bit more of a cold climate. And that ends up paying really well. We get 59 kilometers away, so not even a hedge, just a really nice guess. And the final round here, we have the yellow outside lines. We know we're in South Africa because it's Gen 2, so I end up going somewhere northern here. Definitely reminds me of that kind of Namibian, Botswanan border. Go near Uppington here, and ends up being pretty good. So that was 4.4k. 23.4 is a great score. Had I nailed that South Africa, I think that may have still been in contention, or at least just outside of contention. Anyway, here we have some mountains, and with the road lines and everything, it's pretty easily near Dubai, and 62 kilometers is not a fantastic guess for the size of the country, but for the Geoguessr points, it's great. Next one we have red soil. I know it's Ghana. I end up going near Kumasi here because I know there's hills around there. Should have gone probably a bit nearer to Kumasi, but 4.6 is still serviceable at this stage. Next one we have the Kenya snorkel, so definitely going to be somewhere in Kenya. And so I get in here, I'm a little late, I guess near Eldoret here, and check this out. It's 33 kilometers other side of Eldoret, so we're still in contention with that 4.9. Very clean indeed. Next one, we do have a South African route here, driving left-hand side of the road. You can see a bunch of African people there as well, so definitely easy South Africa. I go near Johannesburg here, Pretoria, kind of that classic hedge. Unfortunately, ends up being the other side. So despite the fact that we're still in the same same metro area, where a whole 150 points lacking there. Last one is easily Lao. It took me a little bit to realize it, and I clicked where it's too mountainous. There are 4 cities with coverage in Lao, and I picked easily the wrong one. So what could have been a great score there ends up being forward at the last moment. And check out the seed. This one's just remarkably easy because we got small country here, country with specific clues here, very easy metro area, South Africa, a Ghana that I could have done much better on, and then Lao, which you only have 4 cities. So all I had to do was do better on Ghana and Lao there, and I could have easily been in the kind of range where we're talking about world records. So definitely an interesting seed. Pretty happy with how it went. Next one we have the Sri Lankan car, again a bit drier, so I knew it should be probably further north this time. So I think I just slam it in for a guess there. Probably a little too far north, yeah. Ends up being a little bit further south, so not the greatest guess, but 4.7 is still fine. Next one we have Taiwanese poles, and so I end up going fairly central here. Take another look at it, and I opt for going the other side. Unfortunately, that ends up being a false decision, or not a good decision, because we would have gotten a lot closer otherwise. Next one, I'm looking around. I saw a blue and white flag, but I knew it should be Sweden anyway. But I thought it might be like people in solidarity with Ukraine. Turns out it was just the Swedish colours, which makes sense. So we're not on track for a world record here, but I still play on anyway. And I know this one's near Darwin, and I see on the bottom of the corner of the screen here it says Palmerston. Well, I'm actually not sure if I really realized that at the time. I definitely realized at the end. So then I realized I click on Palmerston City. Luckily, it doesn't register, and my original guess stands. I get 1.6 kilometers away, which is super fire. Next one is just an easy South Korea with a single yellow in the center and kind of the mountains in the background. Very easy, but not the best score. 22.9. So again, lots of nice games that could have easily gone better with a few extra good guesses. Next one, yeah, we're starting off in Turkey here. And I can't remember where this one was, 152 kilometers away, so that's actually a pretty good guess for Turkey, considering how big it is. Next one's like an easy Uruguay, or actually was it? Yeah, it was good, so not talking crap. That was a good score again, 4.6k, actually Uruguay is deceptively big, so next one I'm pretty sure is going to be in France, and it is, so just a bunch of like decent guesses in a row here, you'd have to say. And again, this one, I can see that's well, you can't see it anymore, but there was an Argentinian plate in the background. Another decent guess. So at this stage, it was decent guess. And then we have Brazil. And I'm feeling frisky. So I go in Accra in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. And check it out, guys. 66 kilometers away in Accra. That's a super duper guess. So it's 23.3. Look, all things considered, we have Uruguay, Argentina, Turkey, France, and Brazil there. That is a really good score for those 5 countries, because all those countries have good area and they all look pretty similar all around. So that's actually more impressive probably than the 24k I get at the end of the video in some ways. So check it out. Now we have some just insane guesses, I believe. Actually, no, maybe not. I think this one is actually around. So here we go. I go near the south there, and we get 4.9, so 32 kilometers away is a really good start there for sure. Next one, we have black-topped bollards, so I know this one should be Russia. Doesn't really look like what you'd get inside Serbia or anything like that. So I end up going near Samara here. Ends up being closer to Kazan, but still, all things considered, a really nice Russian guess, so I decided to continue. This is another hard seed. This one's obviously French, and I wasn't really sure where. Opt for like kind of a Paris hedge, but I really wasn't sure. This one was kind of confusing. All the times when you have like trees up against like the side, it makes it harder to get a sense of where you are. Anyway, this one's a clear Western Australia with this dirt collar, and we also had a WA unique bollard. Yeah, we're a little bit further north, so again, this was just a harder seed rather than anything too impressive. It was just the Japanese guess that I wanted to show from the start of this one, but yeah, this one ends up, like I was thinking, definitely feels like north of Nairobi. We'll check this out, check this one out. Ends up being all the way north of Nairobi, all the way in Marsabit, so that's about as far north as the coverage goes. It's a 22k, but really nice Japanese guess. So next one, we are feeling definitely Filipino. Actually, no, this was, this one, okay, this one was Thailand, and I get 8.2 kilometers away, so clearly my previous self better than my current self here with this one. Anyway, that was a really nice guess. Just a bit of a plonk. Here's just a couple of plonks. So this Japanese guess was just at the same time as my other Japanese one. They were like from just like a minute ago. These were like back to back essentially. Check this one out. 1 second to go. I put it down 6 kilometers away, guys. Oh my gosh. Look. Let's watch that again. Come on. Let's run it back. Guys, this is what dreams are made of. This is Japan. You're not meant to get scores this good on Japan. 6 kilometers away, you kidding me? And in the nick of time as well. That was a sick guess. Very, very worthy of being included in the video. I'm sure you will agree. And as for the last sick guess, here it comes. So a nice one in Eswatini to start off with. And this one's a little one for GeoPeter. Wasn't really sure. Very generic round, I think you'll agree. Felt Baltic. Could have been Russian. I decided to go for Riga. And so I guess the question is, am I on the side... was the flag on the side of GeoPeter? Or was I on the side of GeoPeter? So maybe Peter, if he watches this, he can answer. But there we go. That was a really nice Riga guess. And I'm pretty pleased with myself. I've watched his geocaching videos in Riga. So here we are. We're on to the 24K now. This was one that was clearly going to be Netherlands or somewhere around there. And ends up being closer to Amsterdam, but 93 kilometers away is fine. Next one was Australia, but I was really confused. We had Western Australian exclusive bollards, but the dirt color in the Gen 4 was confusing me. So I click a bit outside of Perth here, and check this out. We end up on the right road, 48 kilometers away, so a little bit further in towards Perth, but all things considered for Australia, a really nice guess. Yellow outside lines here, desert, also this like desert looking wall, so it had to be UAE. Even though it confused me a little at first. But yeah, we go in Dubai here, and yeah, ends up being outskirts of Dubai indeed. So we were on track for a monster here. Next one, these signs look Spanish with the like solid red border on the signs. So I guess near Bilbao, because I can see we're in the town in the mountains somewhat at least. Unfortunately, the mountains do kind of like go a little further down here towards the flag, so we don't pull the best score here. Only 134 kilometers away instead of what we could have been if we left our original marker. And then final round here, I see a Bulgarian flag on this sign here, not to mention the EU flag as well. Winter coverage makes things nice and easy for us. I just go for a fairly central hedge here. There's not really too much to it when it comes to rural Bulgaria, but the central northern hedge works 41 kilometers away, and so I realized, yep, there we go, 24,085. So I achieved it twice in 2 videos, guys. And if you're wondering, like, all the footage for this one, I would say probably took about 3 hours to film again. So it roughly takes me about 3 hours at the moment to get a 24K, which is, I would say, a pretty good strike rate. I just put on a podcast and get grinding, and obviously we get some nice clips, such as 2 fantastic Japanese guesses and the really nice Thai guess as well. So guys, thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate that, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely smash like if you did, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Until next time, goodbye.